So, Fred, you said you're from New Jersey, Central New Jersey, but you didn't. That's not where you grew up.
No, I grew up in Brooklyn as a rabid Brooklyn Dodger fan.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool. And how
uh,
did you wind up at Duke?
Well, it was very simple. I was accepted at Harvard, and I was accepted at Yale, and I was accepted at Duke, and Duke offered me a full ride.
Decision made.
So that's how I got to Duke. Harvard and Yale said go one semester, and then if all things work out, we'll give you money. Duke said we'll give you money.
Nice.
So it was
And
very
so
simple.
and you left Duke with you said 3 degrees.
Yeah, master's, MBA, PhD.
Nice. And so how did that lead to you doing what you're doing today?
Well, I taught for a number of years, and then my wife said, "We're pregnant."
Motivation.
Yeah, she said, "You got to get a real job." What she meant, what she was even more brutal than that. She said, "You got to trade psychic income for real income." It's exactly what she said.
Wow.
So yeah, that's what I said.
So how long ago was that?
Well, long time ago.
Long time. Yeah.
My kids are in their 40s now.
Okay. All right.
I got married at 30, so you can figure it out.
Sure. So, so in that time, always been in financial planning? Always been doing...
No.
Well, you said you taught.
Yeah, I taught, and then I entered the consulting world for about a year. Didn't like doing that kind of consulting. I was being recruited to be an analyst for the CIA, and I had a tuna fish sandwich at lunch. I think I told you that last night, and I found out I was allergic to fish. So after I got the adrenaline shot through the heart, the CIA said, "Thanks, but no thanks." And then I was on Wall Street for a while.
Oh, okay.
In the
Well,
brokerage world.
that's a wake-up call, isn't it?
Yeah, and then I was a general agent for 2 insurance companies. Then I had an interesting career, and then I eventually became a principal consultant at Unisys Corporation, and they exited knowledge-based consulting at the end of 1996. And at that point, I decided that I didn't want to take a lateral work for IBM Consulting, and I decided that this is what I would want to do, and had to figure out how I would finance it, which I did. And that's it. So since '97, I've been.
So '97. So even in that amount of time, there's been some major changes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and most of them for the good.
I'm not sure. I'm not
Jury's
sure.
out,
I'll be honest with you. The best years were prior to Jimmy Carter. That's when Americans could own retirement plans in pounds sterling and Swiss francs, and Carter stopped that. I got into the international retirement planning business before Carter, and Carter put a dent in my life when he did that. So he's not one of my favorite guys.
I can tell.
Yeah, there've been a lot of change. Some of them have been for the good, particularly opening up of the IRA market. The negative is doing away with the defined benefit pension, fooling around with, monkeying around with Social Security, Medicare.
So how do you? What's your process when you meet with someone? They come in and say, "I need some help."
Well, those are the easy ones.
Okay.
The hard ones are I'm here and I don't know why.
Oh, okay. All right. And you have that too.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
No, the ones that come in and say I have a lot of assets. I have no idea what I'm doing. Put everybody through the same process. We use integrated planning software. It's got 4 modules, and then we use 2 additional programs. We do psychometric testing on them in order to understand what their behavioral tics are.
Wow.
And
That
we
seems
al-
pretty sophisticated.
Yeah, it is, because it's not a matter of knowing what is appropriate for them. We want to know how they behave, what their cognitive biases are, and we share that with them so that they know it. And the program that we use is specific to 25 countries. And it's written in the language of their countries. It's supported by 4 universities here in the States. It's managed by by a professor at the London School of Economics. The statistics of it's an Australian company.
Sure.
And it's called Phenometrica, and it's very accurate. And people look at it and say, "That is me."
Wow.
And
Are they impressed with that?
Yeah, they are. We also, if they're either straight down the middle of the highway, or there could be outliers that they're not aware of. And then we overlay that against their portfolios, and we show them how they're in sync or they're out of sync, and what needs to happen in those portfolios.
To get them in sync.
Yeah, to get them in sync. And the software has 95% correct liability. And it manages 400 billion of assets. I wish I had the 400 billion.
No kidding. No.
But it does. It's very accurate.
Yeah. And so, do you find sometimes that if there is a couple, that there are just worlds apart?
Yep.
And do you have to get them in sync, or you try?
Well, not necessarily.
Oh, no kidding.
Each one has to be satisfied to a certain extent. If women tend to want certainty over risk, the husband may be willing to accept more risk and less certainty, and then it becomes an accommodation of what risks do we transfer, and we get certainty by doing that. So I use 2 concepts called certainty and probability. There are others that are also valid,
sure.
but that's what I use. And certainty is risk transfer to an insurance company, where you're going to transfer risks that the individual can't assume on their own, or they can't assume in a totality, depending on the size of their assets. So that's the certainty part. And then the risk part is managing their portfolios. And we do a longevity. The other thing I do is a longevity analysis. And the Stanford University Center on Longevity Studies is the core place that longevity has been studied. And they have then provided their software to the Society of Actuaries, and we use their calculator. The Wharton School also has a calculator that's good, but I don't think it's as reliable as at the SOA.
This is a fascinating approach to me. I've never really heard that kind of in-depth sort of analysis of people and their tendencies. That's really pretty interesting.
Yeah, because I've taken a number of courses on behavioral finance, behavioral economics.
That's kind of a new thing, not a new thing, but
Well,
it's becoming. I'm reading more about it now.
Yeah, because, well, as Pogo said, we've met the enemy, and the enemy is us.
Of course.
And that's, that's behavioral bias. And people are blind to their own biases, but they see them in other people.
Oh boy, that's true too.
Very, very readily.
Yes, exactly.
And marriage is going bad. No, I've been married for almost 50 years. But if you want to know what's wrong with me, ask my wife. She's got a list of 10,
she'll tell you.
which she adds to periodically. I always ask her, did I outgrow that? Take it off.
So what do you tell? I mean, you said you work international finance? International?
I do. I still have some clients. I don't do that anymore.
Okay.
Because it's too difficult.
I would think.
Yeah, and most of that's domestic. Today it's the domestic life insurance industry, but since 9/11, they want them to be onshore.
Okay.
And a lot of the clients that I had internationally were never onshore, or they were American citizens. They worked for Lorillard or R.J. Reynolds or Aramco, and they didn't want to have their pensions only in U.S. dollars. They wanted Swiss francs and pounds sterling. And because the dollar was vibrating,
sure.
you know, remember we had
I remember that,
18%
yeah.
inflation.
Yeah, I
You
remember.
know, my mortgage was 15%, and we bought a new house. The bank said, "How fast can you pay it off?" I said, "Why?" They said, "Because we're losing money at 15%. We can lend it out at 22. So when can we get your mortgage paid off?" That's a true story.
Wow, amazing. So, Fred, what do you want to leave us with? Any thoughts? Any things that we haven't talked about?
Yeah, I think the hardest thing for a comprehensive planner is to distinguish what they do, because many people think that comprehensive planning is nothing more than stock picking, and that's not what comprehensive planning is about. Comprehensive planning is making sure that your retirement can be successful, defining your retirement however you want to define your retirement, and making sure that that the risks that you can't manage get managed by somebody else, and what you can manage, to be aware of what it is that you should be expecting, and to address that. I mean, I think that is the key. I mean, I can't say this on camera, but any financial planner who's been doing this for a long time has heard all the bullshit about managed money and knows that's a crock of shit, and it doesn't work. And the issue is, you know, over the last 20 years, the average of the S&P is about 5.75%, and we need to see that if the client can get that plus inflation, it's about 3%. So if they can average out arithmetically to that, they're fine. Geometrically, it's going to be a little less because you got the volatility. So, you know, if it's geometrically it's just about 6%, they're golden. And that's what we're really trying to do. And I know many advisors know that that's true, but they can't get over that hump. The client wants them to pick stocks.
I get it.
Or mutual funds, and that's not what this game is about.
Terrific. So, Fred, a fascinating story. Thanks much. I appreciate you hanging out with me.
Okay.
All right.